Okay, this is take number 2 for my Tweet Be Happy live video that is being done on July 15th. Let me check my computer real fast just to make sure that the positioning of this live is correct. Okay, so it looks like it is still sideways. So if I turn it to this way, I'm not really sure why that happens from time to time. But normally I get a warning that says I can't turn it. So let me see how this video is. Now I'm going to refresh my computer. Thank you for your patience. Okay, it looks like it is the right direction. I'm not really sure why that happens. It's so frustrating, but it is what it is, and let's go forward. This is Darla Tweeten. I am coming live to you tonight. Like I said, if you are watching the replay, then thank you for watching the replay. And tonight's set that we're going to be using is the Sweet Jar bundle, and there is a stamp set, and then there is a punch that goes along with it. I would highly recommend that if you're a punch girl or a punch guy like I am, that you purchase it as a bundle, and you will save 10%. Sometimes I have maybe just purchased the punch and not purchase the stamp set, thinking that, you know, I could do something else with it, and then later on I can't get them. So I would highly recommend that if you are interested in this stamp set, that you buy both the stamp set and the punch. I'm looking here on my computer real fast just to make sure that, you know, what you're seeing is what I want you to see, and it isn't quite what I want you to see, but we're going to go ahead and go with it. This is a bundle, like I said, and we're going to get started with our first card tonight. We are using the card base will be gray granite. That's one of the colors that is listed on the back of the Country Woods DSP. And if you ever wonder what colors are in our DSP, you can always flip it over and it will give you the name of the DSP, and it'll tell you the coordinating cardstock or coordinating ink colors that you could use with it. Then also it tells you the number of sheets, 12 sheets, and then also it will give you the number. So the Country Woods DSP number is 163393. And when I looked on it, on the Stampin' Up's inventory status, this was low inventory. So if you do like this this DSP, which tonight we're using this sheet of DSP, and then the back side is the gray granite and the basic white. So that the dark color in this DSP is going to be early espresso. So there might be a little bit of pecan pie in there too. which would be pretty nice, and then the wild wheat. But the wild wheat has been retired, so we cannot use, you cannot get that one, but you can sure use it if you still have it. So tonight's card is, the layout that we are using is the Casing Tuesday layout 521. And that was created by looking in the annual catalog. If you looked on page 114 in the catalog, you will see that the Casing Tuesday 521 sample that they used was this one right here. And this is a part of the catalog that shows you different types of techniques. And we are going to be doing the card, but in the catalog they were telling us that you could create a wood grain effect with the wood textured specialty paper, Stampin' Brayer, and ink. Okay, so that is on page 114 if you have your annual catalog handy. Now this this sweet jar bundle is an online exclusive. You will not find it in the catalog, but you will find it online. And how you go about doing that is when you access the Stampin' Up! Website, up in the search bar, you can type like sweet jar and then do an enter, and then it will come up with the different, the stamp set, the individual punch, and then it'll come up with the bundle. But better yet, go to the Tweet Be Happy page, and I've got a link there that will take you directly to that stamp set, and then it will give me credit for you using that link because my demonstrator ID number will be on there. So I always appreciate your orders. Let's put some light on this subject, right? I turned on my little light there to make it show better. It seemed kind of dark, didn't it? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, like I told you, we had gray granite, and then the DSP that we're using is the Early Espresso. The flip side of it is the gray granite, and what we're going to do is there's going to be 4 squares put on there. Those 4 squares are 1 3/4 inch by 2 inches. So they will be something like this on that DSP. So we are just going to go ahead and flip these over, and I am adhesive gal. I like the roll-on adhesive like this. It's the Stampin' Seal Plus. Living here in Iowa, I don't want to have our cards fall apart with the humidity, so I do like the Stampin' Seal Plus adhesive. So what I would recommend to put your card base to the side, and then go ahead and stick these on the front of the second layer. Something like this. Now in the sample it showed them more towards the center, if you will remember, and obviously when I put these on the card I started up further, so then there's going to be more space in between, where on the sample, which if we go quickly back to that, was on page 114, it had them pretty close together, if you see that right there. But I'm wanting to see more of the DSP, more of the wood grain look, so that's why I'm making it further apart. Okay, so then the next thing we need to do is we need to stamp this sweet jar. And I have done a couple of cards already. I will show them to you in just a minute. But let's go ahead and stamp a couple of the jars. Now, when you have a punch, you must be cognizant of where that punch is going to go in on your paper. So when I stamp this jar, I am not going to want it to be upside down for when I punch it. So what I will do is I will punch it right side up on going this special direction, this certain direction, okay? So you kind of line up your stamp with your punch, and then you know that you have to be, you know, fairly close to the bottom of your basic white cardstock. Straight down, straight up, 1, 2, 3. Straight down, straight up, 1, 2, 3. Straight down and straight up. And that's all there is to it, okay? Now, the little lid is a separate, it's a separate piece of the punch, if you've noticed that. So I'm going to punch that out by itself. I figured that would be the best. So what I'm going to do is, I have one that's punched here. Let me, I've got some scraps over here. What I'm going to do is I am just going to punch them fairly close to the bottom of my sheet of paper. And since I punched 3 jars, I better do 3 lids. So they're something like that. Okay, so I am using Memento ink, which is a black ink, for the jar. And earlier when I did this, I stamped it with the candles, as you can see, for a birthday. So I'll show you how to do that. I guess I need that paper, don't I? So what I did was I took the candle stamps from the stamp set, and it looks something like this right here. There's 3 candles all together, which is kind of nice. I grabbed my strawberry slush. I think that's a happy color. Stamp the candles, and we're doing 3 jars. So I stamped them 3 times. And then make sure you take your chamois and clean off your stamp. And then just to make sure it's clean, stamp off into a white. And you can see there was just a little bit of residue, so I just washed it again real good. The next color we're going to use is another in color, which is the Timid Tiger. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. Stamp 1, 2, 3. Stamp off to the left of our jar. 1, 2, 3. Left of the jar. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's how we're doing those candles. Now the next candle we're going to do, I love color, and I thought we needed some Darling Duckling. So we are going to open up the Darling Duckling, and we are going to use just the single candle right now, which is just 1 stamp. Okay. And you will stamp that 1, 2, 3, and then stamp it like in between the other 2 in colors. Something like that. Okay. Now, every candle needs to be lit, doesn't it? So let's go ahead and find the little flame that comes in the stamp set, which is something like this. Just checking my computer to make sure that it hasn't gone sideways on me here again, and it's looking good. So so every candle needs a bright light, doesn't it? So this little candle, we're going to stamp, or excuse me, this little stamp, we are going to stamp each candle individually with its own little flame. Okay, something like that. So now we'll continue going on with this jar of, and keep in mind I am doing 3 jars, 3 of the sweet jars all at once. I re-inked them each time. I don't know if you didn't, it's just not as bright. So I would recommend stamping each candle with its own first generation of stamping. Okay, so that is Darling Duckling that we just used on lighting the candles. So I am going to wash off this stamp set again, making sure that, you know, I don't accidentally put it into another color of ink and have it not, you know, spoil the ink pad. So let's go ahead and cut out the first jar, and you can see that it's fairly easy to match it up. One thing I've learned is that if you push it real lightly and then press it upside down, then it comes out real good. And you can see that it punches out a topper. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just punch out one of the toppers that I had already done, so you get something like that. Now I know we did do 3 more over here earlier, but I have 3 jars left, so they will be used. Don't worry about that. Okay, so let's continue on. Now this is our second layer, and let's go ahead and put our sweet jar onto the center of this card, and we're going to want to make sure that it's popped up fairly nice. So we'll do about 4 dimensionals here, and take your pick tool to remove the dimensionals. But before I do that, I want to show you a trick. We need to put adhesive underneath of the jar, don't we? So what we're going to need to do is on the side here, there is smaller dimensionals. Go ahead and just cut one of those strips off, and you will find that it will fit on this very, very well if you put it clear at the bottom. Like that. Something like that, okay? You could have used mini dimensionals too, but why not use a side of one of those dimensionals and then have it be all one piece. Take your pick tool and pull off the backings. My garbage is right down here, so I can put it in my garbage. Okay. So those of you that are just joining us, this is the sweet jar bundle that I am using tonight. It is an online exclusive, and we are working on our second and third layers, and we are going to put this jar right in the center of our second layer. What do you think? So every jar, now somebody said, well, why are the candles burning and the lid is on? Well, you can see the lid is loosely on. I didn't think about it, but I should have maybe angled the lid a little bit so that it looked like a true candle. So we'll have to do that next time. Okay, so I am a twine gal also. The embellishments that I'm using tonight are the Baker's Twine Essential Pack, and you're going to need about 14 inches. So I measure it on the bottom of my glass mat to about 14 inches. And then what I do is I fold it in half and then I will get a double bow. So go ahead, fold it like this, fold it like this, and then tie a bow. Okay, go find the center of your twine, do a loop, and then do another loop. I over loop, and because you can always make the loops smaller. I don't know if you guys were aware of that or not. So you can see here where this loop is pretty big. Well, you just pull on that end until it gets to be the size that you want it to be. So obviously I got this one side. I didn't tie my bow exactly in the middle, but that's okay. Then with a glue dot, you are going to put the glue dot on the bow, and then you will put it on the knob of the jar. Something like this. So, and then if you want to, I will take my scissors and I will make them about the same length. There you go. So we could leave it just like that. We do need a sentiment though, don't we? So what I'm going to do is, I do have, the sentiment is on 1 3/8 inch by 1/2 inch. So, and I know this is longer than, you know, 1 3/8 inch. So what we're going to do is, we are going to do another birthday card, and we are going to carry it out with the Memento ink. We will get 1, 2, 3. Kind of look at it and see if it's inked up. 1, 2, 3, and then put it on your piece of basic white. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? So I like that font. They Stampin' Up did a nice job with that font. And there are some little tiny hearts in this stamp set. There's some big hearts that you can put inside of the jar, and then there's some little hearts that you could use on the sides. So we're going to go ahead and use a couple of the little hearts right there. I'm also going to decorate this second layer with some hearts too. And you can see I kind of messed up that. Okay, I think I need to re-ink my Memento pad. So just kind of put some hearts. There are, if you notice here, there's some shamrocks in there, and then there's a shamrock there. There's some jelly beans you could put into the jar. I love jelly beans. Does anybody else like jelly beans? And they have to be the Brock's jelly beans, just the originals. That's what I like. So thank you for joining me tonight. Those of you that are watching me, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate your time that you're spending with me tonight. Let's go ahead and take our silicone mat, which is over here. Silicone mat, and let's take our Seal Plus adhesive and let's adhere the second layer to our card base of gray granite. So I like to use my glass mat to follow the lines, and then also you can kind of use the lines to do the second layer too. And you know what? It's not perfect, but it's darn close to, by using those lines on the glass mat. So there is our first card. We need to put our greeting on there. Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and trim this. It's supposed to be 1 3/8 inch long. Okay, there it would be about 1.5 inches. So we're going to go ahead and cut it here. I like to put a banner on the end of my sentiments. So how you do that is you slice in about halfway, and then you cut slits into the sentiment, okay? Something like that. So, and because this is it's gonna look like it's a label hanging down from the jar, let's go ahead and take your pick tool, and this is a nice handy thing to have, and I can never remember what this is called. This is called a piercing mat, and I should remember what that is. Technically tie this on to the twine. It's gonna look like it is because we're gonna put it up underneath of there, and it'll be something like that. Now I think that's a little long. I don't know if I like that, so I'm gonna take that off. It's just a glue dot. My other one that I did looked okay, and I don't know why. You know what? I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna kind of rough up the edges because we want to break down the fibers of the sentiment. So there is our card. The card is done just like that, isn't it? We could leave it just like that, but we're not going to. We're gonna take our gray granite marker. Let's see if this is gray granite. This is light basic black. That is not gray granite. Let's reach for this one right here. This is light smoky slate. That will do. Now, have you heard of the flicking method, where you take the writing end of your marker and you just flick on the card? Just gives it some character and some dimension. And that one is kind of dried up. So I am going to be dangerous, and I am going to try this light basic black. So you're going to want to do it kind of carefully. You can see there where, see the splotches? What do you think? I like that look. Especially, just gives it some more character, doesn't it? So this little jar. Then one last thing we'll add is some embellishments, and the embellishments that I am using is they're called the Neutrals Adhesive Back Sequins, okay? So let's go ahead, put these on in odd numbers when you put your sequins on. You don't want to overdo it. Somehow I lost one. I don't know where it went. It will show up, isn't it? Won't it, when I'm cleaning up? So we're going to use the clear ones on this card to just kind of sparkle it up. So that is our first card. What do you think? That is using the Sweet Jar bundle. And then on the inside, if you'd like, you could put, you know, just a piece of basic white in there. And then you could stamp, you know, a little sweet treat for you, or sending a little sweetness your way. So that is one of our cards that we are going to make tonight. The other card that actually this is going to be the only card that we're going to make tonight, but I wanted to show you a couple more samples, and then I wanted to show you some examples of the stamps that are in the stamp set itself. So this is another card that I created earlier using the same Casing Tuesday layout 521, except this time I used Misty Moonlight cardstock, and I used the Country Lace 12 by 12 DSP. Now that one is also available, that 12 by 12 DSP, and that Country Lace number is 163415. So just kind of a little bit different look, you know, same layout. I kind of liked using the DSP inside. It's a little, I stamped it with the Memento Black, if I remember right. Okay, so the other card that I made, actually it was the first card that I made, and I used Stampin' Up's 2024 2026 in color 6x6 DSP, and I kind of like the way that turned out. Now that would be the petal pink that I used on that one, and then obviously it's just white inside. You could stamp something or you could just leave it plain. But what I really want to show you guys is the versatility of this stamp set. Okay, so here's some happy birthday ones. Now, if you remember right, I told you that there was some shamrocks in this stamp set. Well, we just finished our county fair, and they could be clovers for 4-H if you wanted them to be. This is what I stamped. This would be, these are 2 steps right here. So so these, I want to just read here what Stampin' Up has about this. It says, give your cards and crafts a sugar rush. Treat jar designed in heartwarming sentiments, ideal for expressing love and attitude. Love and appreciation. And it is 2-step. So you layer 2 or more images to create one final image. So that's exactly what I did here. I stamped these clovers or shamrocks first generation in Shy Shamrock, and then in 2nd generation stamped off in Shy Shamrock. Then I did the background. What do you think? Wouldn't that just make a cute little filler in this jar? Imagine this being the jar, and well, actually, let's go ahead and just stamp that cute little, sweet little jar here. So you would take this, 1, 2, 3. You would take this and you would stamp it something like that. Isn't that just cute? So you could use that for St. Patrick's Day, or you could use it, like I said, for the county fair that we are just wrapping up here in our area. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is Valentine's Day. Pretty soon, well, not pretty soon, hopefully a long time from now, but there's also these cute little hearts. We did use some of the single hearts here decorating on these cards, but what I did was I stamped in real red these hearts right here. So there again, and that's just 1st generation stamping. So there again, let's stamp this jar around these hearts. And voila, you will have a Valentine's image that you can use for Valentine's Day. So what my point was, that is I wanted to show you how versatile these stamp sets can be. You can use them for many occasions, and you don't even have to use the stamp set. You could just use the punch by itself too, if you wished. So that is the sweet jar bundle that I wanted to share with you tonight. Now, I want to take just a few minutes and turn the camera on me, and I am going to tell you about our county fair that we just finished. Those of you that follow me, thank you for following me. I sure appreciate you doing that. But anyway, I wanted to tell you that I have two grandsons that are getting to be the age that they want to participate in our local fair by showing calves and showing pigs. So I am so proud of those two little gentlemen. My oldest grandson, he showed his bucket calf, and there was like 37 participants in that bucket calf show, and there was 4 classes, and my oldest grandson was in the first class, and there was 3 rosettes that were awarded, and he got one of the rosettes. So how they get the rosettes is it's based on points. They go through an interview process, and then the day of the show, the beef judge also judges the participants based on questions that he asks. And then we tally those 2 scores together, and that's how we determine the top 3 in each class. So that was a great victory for him, for us, for our family, for everyone, to see those youngsters participating in the bucket bottle calf program, because those are our future 4-H'ers, future FFAers, and future farmers of America. Now, our second grandson, he was not old enough to participate in the bucket bottle program, but him and his brother, they could participate in the Little Squealers program. So what kind of an animal squeals? Yep, a pig. That's right. So those guys, with the help of an older 4-H'er, loaned them their pig for the few minutes that they were in the show ring, and they got to walk around with a pig in the show ring with a whip and a brush, and tried to drive him where they needed to be. So and there again, I have some other good news. Our second grandson, he was in the first class, I believe, and he got a second place ribbon for his showing the Little Squealers. So also that same grandson got a second place in his class in the pedal tractor pull. So I'm a proud grandma. If I had buttons on my shirt, they'd be popping off, but I just wanted to share that with you because I know a couple of you have texted me, and I will be sharing some pictures real soon. But for right now, I had to get the camper home from the fair, and I needed to prepare for this live, which I hope you guys enjoyed this sweet jar bundle. I've had it for far too long and needed to really use it, and I felt it was right tonight. So this is Darla Tweeten, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Iowa, and I do come live to you every other Tuesday night. So our next live will be on July 29th. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's hard to believe it's July 25th. And in 2 weeks, it'll be July 29th. But my special for tonight is if you place a $50 order in my online store by, let's see, by July 21st, which is a week away, by July 21st, I will send you 4 card kits of using this sweet jar bundle. Now keep in mind, I can't do the stamping and stuff for you, but if you don't have this sweet jar stamp set, you can use another stamp set that you do have for these cards. So that is my special for tonight. Spend $50 in my online store by the 21st of July, and I will send you 4 card kits that you can put together as a thank you for your order. So, okay, well, I'm gonna end this this live right now. I apologize for the rough start that we had, But I think after we got started, we did really well. So if you need anything, you know, just make a comment. I'm always here for you. God bless.